Tell me, darling, is it worth it? Welcome back. For those of you who might know me, my name is Talani. And for those of you who do know me, my name is Benjie. And welcome back to the Benjie T channel. Welcome to a little segment I like to call Tea with Tea. That is some good tea. Anyways, today is the 1 month birthday. I'm gonna say birthday because it feels more appropriate for this situation. It is a 1 month birthday of my debut single, Worth It. Loki kind of feels a bit anticlimactic. I feel like I should have a cake or something to commemorate this event, but we don't have a cake today. So I'm just gonna say stream Worth It by Talani. It's out everywhere and then all streaming platforms. If you've heard it, thank you so much for listening to the song. If you've not heard it, what are you doing with your life? You should probably go listen to the song because I think it's a pretty good song. It's really funny having a piece of art like that out in the world to see and to critique and judge and receive and experience. It's a very surreal experience as a human being and an artist, and it's funny. I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. It's been a while since I've done this. It's been a couple of months since I've made a video, so I literally have notes on my phone on what I wanted to say, and I feel like this is one of the things that was kind of hard in my mind, especially because I've kind of reached the overarching realization and revelation of my life that I suck in marketing. I remember 1 month ago today, it's the 21st of December. On the 21st of November, that's when the single was dropping. I remember the only promo that I did for the song was me making a video and posting it on the midnight of the 21st of November. That was Thursday morning, 12 a.m. That was the only promo that I did. And I realized, I was why don't I like this? And I kind of had to go down the rabbit hole of understanding that I've kind of feeling the pick me TikTok artist or the Instagram reel musician who is kind of pushing everything and everyone with ears to go listen to their music. Even though I'm gonna give people their flowers. There's some incredible artists out there, but there's some people that I've seen and listened to their music, and it's you overpromised and underdelivered. And I don't know. It's a weird duality towards it. And it's not even from a cringeworthy form factor of content creation, but it's also just from a general perspective of creation of art versus consumption of art. And it's funny to me watching people go online and pushing people at the same time, also holding the tension of understanding between people want to do this and they want to grow and they want to succeed and they want to do this for their lifestyles. So that's been understanding that I've had. And I'm not going to look at my phone anymore. Let's just do this from the heart because this is welcome to another heart conversation. Now I've reached a certain point of realization where I need to hold the tension between promoting the stuff that I make from a belief point of view in who I am and what I do. I was watching Billie Eilish's 8th year in a row Vanity interview, and I remember she was basically saying how she felt very insecure in her music. So when someone really cool listened to her music, she'd be like, "Oh no, don't listen to that. You don't listen to that. You shouldn't listen to that one." And I was like, that's funny. But when I listen to Worth It, my single, and I play it for people, I'm proud of the work that I put in making the song and producing the single and releasing it to the world. I don't think that it's something to be ashamed of. So that's kind of been the interesting thing about now living in a world where as an artist now, it's not just like someone who makes films and makes videos and does all these different things, and now it's like artist across the board. So not just a creator, but someone who makes music, someone who sings, someone who does shows, someone who does all these things for a job, not just for like chits and gigs. It's like this is the life that I'm living now. So it's been a funny tension to hold, and I think that's like what I wanted to address, even just like a conversation with you. Yeah. Yeah. And right now I'm kind of just sitting in between of vulnerability and portrayal of art to the world, because it's a very interesting world that we live in. And I think this is the reason I decided to make this video, kind of as like convincing of self to myself, and also just maybe a talk to you. Not even inspiration. I'm not going to become self-conceited and try to place myself as this holier than thou, trying to make you believe, oh, what I say is gospel and you should listen to exactly what I'm saying. But it's also just like, let's have a conversation about these things. It's important. It's important to understand that, hey, sometimes I don't want people to listen to my music because I don't feel like I'm there yet. And I feel like there's so many artists, and there's millions of people around the world who are doing the same thing that I am doing and promoting themselves in different ways, and different stories are being told and all this different types of stuff. And I'm dealing with the tension of how do I stand out and do this and actually find an audience and be comfortable in my skin as a human being, and also be comfortable in my skin as an artist, and also want to show people that, hey, I think you should think that I'm a cool artist to listen to, and like a cool human being that you'd want to be associated with, or like to end up in your top 10 artists, like something like that. That was a really cool thing, by the way. The song came out in November, and I remember one of my friends showed me their Apple Music Wrapped. Is it called Wrapped? I don't know what it's called. And she was basically showing me how like I ended up being in her top 10 songs of the year, and I was like, the song came out like 3 weeks ago. How am I already in your top 10? Like I remember I was one of the top artists. Then I was also a top single. I was like, you listened to, like, that was so much love. Crazy moment, and it made me so happy. But I digress. Let me get back on track here. I think it's important to foster a culture among human beings to be in a position where we allow ourselves to tell our stories in our most authentic ways, because I don't have any other stories to tell but mine. Everything else is just gossip, right? Depicting my story and my experiences, and that's such an important thing. And I think like I've seen and I've felt that there's such a big discrepancy and disparity between artists in this generation being able to tell our stories effectively, in the vulnerability that it needs to be done with, without being and then also the same thing of having a disconnect between consumer and artists in how they receive that vulnerability. It's like, my story is my story, so how I tell my story is completely up to my discretion and up to my interpretation and up to my production level. So how you receive it is completely up to you. So if you don't like my story, you can go find somebody else's story. And it's very funny. And I think like, I'm saying this with only one single out, but it's been a very interesting last couple of weeks, just like looking at how people perceive art and the questions people ask me, like, what is Worth It really about? All these different stuff, and its impact on how I view music and how I want to release more music in the future. Because like now I'm sitting in a position where I am less inclined to release more music that is more vulnerable, from a position of talking about my heart rather than meeting consumer demand, you know? And it's very funny. I was looking at Shawn Mendes. I've loved Shawn Mendes for such a long time, because he's actually the person that my vocal coach would make me listen to understand grit and texture and voice, and we have very similar vocal ranges and stuff like that. So I ended up falling in love with his music because he wasn't just a great vocalist, but he's also an incredible storyteller. So there's always been something I've admired about him. And he released an album, Sean, the album. And I remember just like seeing an article popped up on my feed, and the article was basically saying that Sean's album was a flop. Was not well received. It didn't even touch the top 20 Billboard charts. And I was like, guys, it was so funny looking at the consumer demand rather than artist vulnerability, you know? Because like, even just like watching the interviews, I remember he was on I Was Live with John Mayer, and he was talking about how the album for him is medicine. Like, it's been the thing that has saved him. And it's been such like an incredible thing for him to make and to live and to share with people that he loves. But then also just like seeing it from a perspective of people on the outside don't understand what it takes to make art in such a vulnerable way. And it's very difficult to do that and put it out and have the world critique. It's like imagine if your entire world was watching you in the surgery room having an open heart surgery. That's the only way that I can describe it as. And maybe we need to normalize open heart surgeries with an understanding that we all have different stories. We all have different motifs. We all have different experiences that we've gone through to get us to this point, and different acceptances of self in how we approach life. Right? So, basically what I'm trying to say is maybe we just need to tell our stories more and feel free in the art that we create. So it's like when I release more music, I want to be confident in who I am and be able to promote it without feeling judged or cringy or all these different types of things. But it's like I want people to hear the story. I want people to receive the story and experience the story and see life from a different point of view than their own. Because that's what we're all here for. We're all here to share this life that we have together. If you came into this life thinking that it's just you, you've lost the plot. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, if you think that your experiences are only subject to you and not to sharing with the community around you, then you live a very shallow life. It's lovely being able to have people around you who can catch your pieces when you fall and illuminate light within your gray and show you love and make memories with. I think those are the stories that I want to tell now. I think those are the stories that I want to share with the world. There's a lot of work to be done with music. There's a lot of ideas to be shared. There's a lot of experiences to be felt. And I feel like you just got to give more people more grace. And I think that's exactly what I want to do. I want to approach this from a free way. Where it's like, if you love the music, you love the music. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Stream Worth It by Talani. What can I say? But it's also like, I also want to be confident in who I am and in what I release and not feel like I need to please the world to feel free in my own skin as a human being, as an artist. And I understand there's the duality of this, where it's like, if I want to succeed, I got to put in the work. So I'm going to put in the work. But it's also like, I don't want the thing that I love, the art, to become work. You should be allowed to tell your own stories as freely as you want, to your own discretion, to your own extent of vulnerability that you feel like is necessary for you to tell those stories. But till then, this has been a ramble on session. I don't even know if it's going to make a final cut. I don't know whether it's going to go on YouTube. But however you have reached this video and however you have stumbled onto my content, then thank you so much for being here. I just want you to tell your story. It's worth telling. It's worth it. It's like listening to Talani's single is worth it because it's worth it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining my little mental excavation of noggin knowledge. Thank you for joining Tea with Tea. My tea has gone cold now. I blame you. If you haven't listened to the single, I'll put the link in the description. It's out everywhere. It's not a single. It's a record. It's a story. That's what I want to do. I don't want to just produce songs. I don't want to just give people songs to listen to. I want to give stories. That's exactly what Worth It is. It's a story that I'm telling. And I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that it resonates with you. I hope that it changes your perspective on some issues that you might be dealing with in this human condition. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Drop a like. If you want to see more types of this content, new sets, new place, new lifestyle. There's a lot of changes. I'm not even gonna promise you that content is coming. I'm not that guy. I release music, I release videos when it feels good to my heart. And this was just one of those moments. But I want to post more. It's fun. I love doing this. I love sitting down and having conversations with you. You're a fun guy. You're a fun guy. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and I love you very much. And I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you are blessed and highly favored. Hope that the Lord watches over you. Ooh, English is a tough thing. I hope that the Lord watches over you and that you have so much peace in your mind and in your heart. Stream with Baitalani once more. And I guess I will be seeing you in the next one. Have a good one. And if you enjoyed this, or something else. And I'll see you. I stood up too fast. I'll see you. Yeah.